It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
We've got a quick podcast today. As you can see, come here, Hucky. Hucky, come here. Hey, big dog. What are you doing? We got basketball going on today. Oh, couldn't reach that one. Huck and I are hanging out today. I normally record the podcast at night, but I ran out of time because I got home super late last night. And so I'm squeezing one in real quick before Huck and I get our day started so we can get the Wednesday pod up. And I appreciate everyone who likes the short podcast anyways, but hopefully a short one today will be enjoyed. I do want to talk about something that we have been told, my wife and I have been told we would love, and now we're in. We're going to get into that with Kelly's What Are You Into? A little bit of entertainment news mixed with some entertainment I hope that you can get into. We'll talk about that here in just a second. But we start with two things from my daughter's world, because I went and dropped her off at school today. And before we went to school early this morning, my daughter was upstairs doing her makeup. She got this little makeup kit that had fake nails. I think it has little earrings, little sticker earrings that she could put on. And it's got fake nail polish. And it also has glitter lip balm. Well, I had forgotten before breakfast, she had taken the glitter lip balm and brought it downstairs and wanted to do Dad's makeup. And I didn't think much of it because it's a little kid pack, so I just kind of thought everything would be Vaseline substance. Then you just kind of put it on and it's just shimmering. And she put this glitter stuff on my face with this paintbrush that she had. And whatever, we went on with our morning, did breakfast, got clothes on, whatever it might be. Take her to school, drop her off. Her teacher comes and gets her out of her car. Nice lady. And of course, today is the day I decided to have at least a minimal conversation with her about Olivia and the fact that we're heavy on dress. It's dress time at the Widmer house. We are in total dress mode. And it's a big process making sure we've got the right dress on. It's got to be a dress. Now we're in short sleeve dress weather. More on that here in a second. And so I'm talking to the teacher and everything's great. And I get home and I go and I use the restroom and I go to wash my hands and I look up in the mirror. And lo and behold, this little kid makeup pack, it wasn't just Vaseline-like material. My entire right side of my face, which looks out the passenger door, was just covered in glitter. I mean, it looked like I had taken a glitter bomb or I'd taken a little pack of glitter and tripped, and it had exploded up into my cheek. And so that was kind of great. That was a great moment to start the day today. I think I got most of it off. It's on this side. So if you see a little shimmer on the video today, if you're watching on YouTube, that's what that is. That is my daughter. That's my daughter helping out with the podcast today. Thank you, Olivia. I mentioned the dresses, and the short sleeve dresses is where we're at right now because we've hit it here in Lexington, ladies and gentlemen. It's now time. I'm going to get my first foray into a Lexington summer. I have been to Lexington during the summer before. We've come and visited when we lived in Spokane, and it was great. We just lived at my in-laws' pool, so we just it was vacation. It was always here. It's summer. We were here for vacation. We're not here for vacation. Now we live here, and it's happening. Yesterday was the first one. It rained in the morning, hard. It poured in the morning, and then it was 85 degrees, and I went outside in the morning and came back in. I'm trying to remember what I was doing in the morning that made me have to change it. Oh, I was just outside in the garage moving stuff around. I was reorganizing the garage, and so I'd moved a bunch of totes around. I'd moved a freezer from one wall to a different wall, just moved some stuff around. It wasn't like it was crazy heavy labor, but it was moving enough stuff with the garage door open that when I came back inside, I was drenched, totally sweating. I'm a sweaty guy anyways, and I had to change shirts. So one shirt down in the morning. Then in the afternoon, I went outside with the kids, and we played outside. We played on the slide. We ran around in the grass. We just kind of had a big time, played with the water table we have in the backyard. We had a big time. And I got done with that right before dinner and came inside. And the second I was inside, I was like, I'm drenched again. And I had a get-together last night for game night with some friends. And so I thought, I could go in this shirt, but I know I don't smell great and I am sweaty. So I went through 3 shirts yesterday on a last day of April 2024. We weren't even in May yet. It was the last day of April, and I did 3 shirts in one day. I'm doomed here. I do not have enough T-shirts. I mean, I guess I do. I know I need to plan on 3 a day, or at least 2 a day. Because if I'm doing something active in the morning, that shirt is done after lunch. There's no reason for me to be walking around smelling like a dumpster here for everyone to experience. So we're in it now. I'm excited. This is going to be my first summer in Lexington, living here through the heat, trying to adjust to the humidity because it is thick. I talked about it with Anna last night. We were mentioning the fact that 85 degrees here. It wasn't like Spokane hot. Spokane gets hot, right? It gets to upper 90s, low 100s. It is hot. You just feel the sun's heat. Here you just feel like you are in a sauna. And so it's hot, but it's also just thick to move through. It's really weird. Anyways, we're going to work through that. Okay. A little entertainment story for you because it happens tomorrow. If you're listening to this when the podcast comes out on Wednesday, tomorrow, Thursday, the 2nd of May, it's going to be the debut of season 3 of Welcome to Wrexham, a show that I absolutely adore, highly recommend. I think it's fantastic television. Rob McElhenney, Ryan Reynolds, they bought the soccer team. I mean, it's very well known by this time. They bought a low-tier soccer team over in the UK, and their goal is to see how many leagues they can bring this team up. I mean, it's a fascinating idea. They had the capital to do this. And they had help, I'm sure, from a lot of people who invested in it to buy this team. They've already moved up a level. Their first season, they didn't move up a level. In the second season of the show, they won the league, so they move up a level. And now we're into season 3, where the winning is going to hopefully continue. I don't want to spoil anything for people who avoid Wrexham's season because the season has already happened that they played, and you could follow it live. They had games on ESPN. It was a big deal. But we're going to get season 3. It comes out tomorrow. And I was really thankful for that because I think it's a great TV show. And I think it's well produced. It's very fun to watch. Even if you aren't a sports person, there's so many angles to this that are fun, even outside the sports. I love it from the sports angle. I love anytime someone tries something crazy in the world of sports. I think it's fascinating. And so this is one of those things. See what money can do in the sports world. I mentioned this. I think I brought it up when I talked about the college basketball idea of a billionaire just giving a university $50 million and see if you can win a title. I love these kind of gimmicks. And I think part of the reason I'm able to understand sports are entertainment and they don't need to be this pure, at least the sports I watch on TV, they don't need to be this pure, don't touch them, don't taint the product. It's entertainment. I'm sorry, it is. College and pro sports are entertainment. Let's keep them like that. That's what they are. So anyways, Welcome to Wrexham. Highly recommend. Rob McElhenney, though, did something else this week that I was so thankful for because another guy came out and did it. And they just can't help themselves. Old men. And I'm sure Michael will text me and rip me for this. Huck, what do you think? What do you got? You playing basketball back there, big guy? Is that one heavy? What basketball is that? Green. Is it green? Do you know any colors, buddy? Yeah. You do? Yeah. I don't really think you do. What are you planning on playing with here? See if we can get him on the back of the YouTube video somewhere. I don't know. He's hiding. Anyways, Jerry Seinfeld is the latest one to do this, and I said Michael will text me because he says I'm the old man radio. I'm Tony Kornheiser, but Michael, you have to give me a little bit of credit for this. I do not care. I don't defend to the death the things from when I was young. I have no interest in that. What's that, buddy? What are you doing? What do you want to play, big guy? Play which one? Oh, yeah, you can't play with these. These are Olivia's, dog. Sorry, brother. All right, hang on. Come here. Oh, hi. How are you? What do you want to say?
Play basketball.
Play basketball? You want to go play basketball?
Yeah.
Who's on your shirt?
Oh, Lightning McQueen.
Lightning McQueen? Is he your favorite? Who's your favorite race car?
Fire truck.
Fire truck. Do you like Mater?
Mater and fire truck.
Yeah, Mater and fire truck. Do you know any of the songs off of Cars?
Yep.
What are the songs?
What? Did Lightning McQueen.
Dirty Lightning McQueen. We love ourselves some Dirty Lightning McQueen. There's a Disney short, a Cars Disney short, where Lightning McQueen is dirty, and it's our favorite. Okay, we got to wrap up today. I do have to do Kelly's What Are You Into? But I want to get this off my chest. I am not somebody who needs to say that my era is the best. I'm fine with all eras. I do this with the NBA. I loved the 90s, right? My favorite team was the Sonics. I lived and breathed Sonics. The Denver Nuggets beat the Sonics in, 97, 98? And it's the worst time of my life. It's the worst. But the Sonics are my favorite. I don't need to sit here, though, and go like, don't forget about me. I need to make a point that my time was great. I need to be relevant. Don't talk about the NBA today because my time can't go away. My time will go away. All of our time goes away. We all get older, all right? And we need to be okay with that. And current time is going to happen, and no one cares that you were alive in the 80s and 90s. Get over it. Like, you lived it, get over it. But some people just can't let that go. They have to hang on to the past. They have to always pretend like their time was the best time. It's the dumbest thing. I think it's real pathetic and lame. It's why you hear all the time, like, all these people hating on the NBA today. If you watched NBA last night, you saw a ton of defense, and you saw high-level basketball, and you saw Tyrese Maxey hit a 35-footer that was ridiculous. That wouldn't, like, that game, both those teams would have beat 90s basketball teams. That's just how it is. And sorry, 90s people who are all up in arms about it, they would have. They're better now, and we need to be okay with that. So Jerry Seinfeld comes out, and he takes a shot at current sitcoms, and he takes a shot at them because he's Seinfeld, and he had the show Seinfeld, which was mediocre. Well, it was better than mediocre. I didn't enjoy Seinfeld. It was okay. Hang on just a second. I got to pause. Welcome to real life. Welcome to real life of trying to podcast and dad. I really should have done this last night. Now I'm neglecting my kid, which is not great. Give me 5 minutes, brother. So now that I'm discombobulated, Seinfeld, the show. Funny show. A lot of people think it's the best show. I think there's way funnier TV shows out there. There are very funny episodes of Seinfeld. I think there are way funnier episodes of The Office. I think there's way funnier episodes of Modern Family. I think there's way funnier episodes of Arrested Development. I think there's way funnier TV than Seinfeld. But Seinfeld is a big, crucial show for people who are old and lived in the 90s and early 2000s. It's an important show for them, so everyone hangs on to it. Because they don't want to be, they want to always be relevant for some weird reason, because everyone thinks that time doesn't exist and that they need to just have their time needs to be the only time that matters. Silly. So Seinfeld comes out and he takes a shot at current TV shows and talks about how, I need to read his quote because it's so stupid. Of course he gets political with it because no one can just not, old people also can't not be political. Old people can't just be normal and just look at life normal. They've got to be political. So he says this. It used to be you would go home at the end of the day. Most people would go, oh, Cheers is on. MASH is on. Oh, Mary Tyler Moore is on. All in the Family is on. First of all, that's terrible if that's the shows you're excited to go home to. MASH sucks. Have you watched an episode of MASH? We have gotten so much better at making TV shows since 1980. Thank goodness. All right. We have gotten like you can't argue it if you just watched it. You may have nostalgia to MASH. That's totally fine. I get that. You can say it's your favorite show. I get that. But don't come at me and say MASH is the best show of all time, because that just means you aren't open to watching current shows with an open mind. That's all that means to me. So he comes out and he says, you just expect it. There'll be some funny stuff on there'll be some funny stuff we can watch on TV tonight. Well, guess what? Where is it? This is the result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying so much about offending other people. Okay, that's Jerry Seinfeld. That's Jerry Seinfeld who hasn't watched a lot of TV. He has in there people worrying so much about offending other people. Jerry Seinfeld, have you watched television in 2024? Have you watched television? One of the most popular shows right now that wins all the awards is The Bear. The language in The Bear, I can't argue this with, it gets so frustrated. The amount of F-bombs on television right now is insanity. Did you watch Succession, Jerry Seinfeld? It's one of the more offensive shows I've ever seen in my life. Ever. To the point where when I watch Succession, I couldn't even believe it. All right. So the offending, like him getting political with it, of course, it's just such an old man thing, getting political with current day stuff, because that is such a lie. You want to be offended? Go watch television. You will absolutely get offended, without a doubt. That we have not avoided that. So thank goodness for Rob McElhenney, because Rob McElhenney writes for a show that is way funnier than Seinfeld, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and Seinfeld had gone on to say, we did an episode of the series in the 90s where Kramer decides to start a business of having homeless people pull rickshaws because, as he says, they're outside anyway. Do you think I could get that episode on the air today? And thank goodness for Rob McElhenney, who just posted a picture of Rickety Cricket and said probably. Because Rickety Cricket is 1 billion times more offensive and worse than anything Jerry Seinfeld would have put on his NBC TV show ever. Rickety Cricket's storyline is as offensive as it gets. In fact, if you look at Always Sunny in Philadelphia, a show that's on today that lasted so much longer than Seinfeld ever lasted, the things that happen in that show, Jerry Seinfeld never would have put on his show, not because the left or the right or PC, because he probably would have been too offended to put them in the show. He probably would have been like, I don't feel comfortable with that. Not Always Sunny in Philadelphia, man. They're on you. They're on it. They're hilarious, and they push the boundaries as far as you can get. They are the most offensive show I would say you have. So bring your most offensive show of the 80s, your most offensive show of the 90s, and you put it toe-to-toe with Always Sunny, it's not even going to be in the ring that long. It might not even be an undercard in that fight. They're heavy hitting on another level. So again, I get fired up about this stuff. I went way too long on it. Holy cow. Get off your soapbox. But Michael, I may be old man radio a lot of the time, but I will support the youth forever. I think they're doing it right in 2024. Do I love shows from the 90s? Of course. Full House, Home Improvement. They will go down eternally in my mind as some of the all-time great TV shows. 24, it's so cheesy now. Do I love it forever? Absolutely, because it was in my heyday. I'm able to see that just because I personally liked a show growing up does not mean that it is the best show ever, and does not mean that they can never make television like Home Improvement and Full House and all the rest of the TGIF lineup, which is near and dear to me. I'm able to separate nostalgia from reality. Jerry Seinfeld and these old heads are not able to do it. It's even worse in sports, by the way. Okay, that's a soapbox. Go ahead, leave the comments. Sean'sLife.com is where you can go comment on the episode, and you can come at me and you can argue because you're probably old and offended by it too, and your music was better and your TV shows were better and everything the kids do now is terrible and, oh, they're all the worst. Well, guess what, old head? You're getting old. Deal with it. Stop trying to be young. Stop trying to take down the current day. Time will win always. So why don't you just embrace it and let the kids that are growing up today enjoy their stuff, for crying out loud. Oh, Jerry Seinfeld, you made the B movie, dude. You made one of the worst movies ever. When my daughter got into that movie, she has not been into anything worse than Jerry Seinfeld's The B Movie. So it's not like this guy is this mastermind, creative dude. Larry David's the reason Seinfeld was good, not Jerry Seinfeld. All right. Okay. And what's the deal? What's the deal with the young kids? It's just a dumb shtick. Okay. Sorry.
Kelly's, what are you into?
I don't know if I am sorry. I don't know. What am I into? We have been told forever, my wife and I have been told forever we would love Costco. We have not got a Costco membership, but my wife did get a Sam's Club membership. I still don't know what Sam's Club is, but apparently it's kind of like a Costco. I probably should have Google searched Sam's Club, but I was too busy being mad at Jerry Seinfeld and all the people who say that the 1990s baseball is the best baseball of all time. Sam's Club. Let's see. What is it? Where does it say? Where is a description of what Sam's Club is? It's like a Walmart. What? Okay, let me Google. What is Sam's Club? Wholesale prices on top brands. Okay, let's say, is Sam's Club like Costco? Costco and Sam's Clubs are very similar business models. Costco is a publicly traded company, while Sam's Club is a subsidiary of Walmart. Costco's membership fees are more expensive, and the prices of basic products at Sam's Clubs are generally cheaper, but they seem to be similar. Okay, so Sam's Club and Walmart, I believe you need a membership for both, and they're both very similar. And I had always said I didn't need a Costco membership, but that has now changed. You Costco people, you were right when my wife came home with a 10-pound bag of pancake mix. That's what it took. I had been told, get your diapers there, you can get meat there, you can get your liquor there, you can get X and O and all this stuff there. No one said 10-pound bag of pancake mix. And when my wife pulled out the 10-pound bag of pancake mix, and she goes, go get the rest of the stuff out of the trunk of the car. And I went back there and I took out a huge thing of strawberries. That was great. A huge thing of, there was like a multi-pack of spaghetti sauce. I was like, this is great. And then there it was, the golden nugget, a 10-pound bag of pancake mix. And I thought, we have made it. This is the thing. This was the selling point this whole time to a store like Costco. 10 pounds of it. I can make pancakes all the time now. And we go through them. So that was it. So I'm in now. Now, there is one thing I don't like, and it is the fact that my wife also bought a huge box of fruit snacks, which is what my kids live on. We make them meals. We make them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They don't eat any of those. They live on fruit snacks. And I've always bought the little boxes of fruit snacks. So you go through them pretty quick, and it's like, it was a little box. But on this one, it's a huge box that says right on it, in huge letters, 100 bags of fruit snacks. I didn't need that. Can't you just say big bag of fruit snacks? Because now I have a number that I can actually think of and go, ooh, my kids have eaten 100 bags of fruit snacks in 3 days. It was way better when it was vague. When I could make up that number in my head and be like, that box was medium size. It was probably 20 bags. It was probably, this week, we probably went through 20 bags this week. Now it's right there in big letters. I can't ignore it. We went through 100 bags, and now I have to worry about that. I think we've already had 4 or 5 today. I find myself from a space where I was not counting how many bags of fruit snacks I was giving the kids. Now I'm very, very diligent in keeping track of how many bags Huck has had in a day. Okay, I've been neglecting my children long enough. Let's read some comments, and then you all can unsubscribe because you're mad that I took a shot at Seinfeld. I get it. Everyone hates these episodes when I get... if you want to... I need the comments to come in. Don't keep them to yourself. People don't believe me. People get so mad at me when I get opinionated. Michael, it's why I am Old Man Radio. I have so much PTSD on this, so many bad memories. When I come in with opinions, people get mad. So let's hear them. Sean'sLife.com is where you can go so that everyone can hear the anger. There you go. Okay. Yvonne said this. Let's see. She did some family tree stuff. We'll skip the family tree stuff. But she did say, I have been in one of the small planes to skydive 10 years ago. Okay, Yvonne, nothing sounds more terrifying to me than this. I do want to get into a small prop plane because I've kind of fallen in love with them on YouTube, but they still scare me because I'm afraid of heights. I used to be really scared of flying. I've kind of got over that a bit. But to combo a small plane and knowing that I was going to jump out of it, that sounds awful, Yvonne. I mean, I'm glad you did it, and I think it's super cool, and I think the concept of skydiving is really rad. But the actual thing doing it, to me, you are a crazy person, Yvonne, and I love you for it. Let's see. What do we have? Anything else? I think there was one other comment, but it wasn't a comment that was for the podcast. It was more of just a technical thing with the YouTube. I get it. The YouTube video isn't perfect. I'm using my phone, and it's like we're going to get behind the curtain. It's used wirelessly, so it's not the greatest connection, and so the video gets really choppy, and sometimes the words are off a little bit. So I get the YouTube stuff. I appreciate the comments about it. I'm trying to help it. Keep them coming. Thank you to the people who are listening. Thank you to anyone who subscribes to this podcast. Thank you to the people who aren't mad at me today, who aren't offended by me. Thank you to the people who enjoyed it. And of course, thank you to the Patreon listeners, patreon.com/Sean Widmer Podcast. If you are a Patreon member and you are helping support this show, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you would like to help support this show, it would mean a ton to me. You can go to patreon.com/Sean Whitmer Show, or Sean Whitmer Podcast, excuse me. And we will have, I believe, another bonus episode up this weekend. Patreon members get exclusive episodes on the weekends. Dalton's been on. My wife's been on. I vented this last weekend. I think we'll have another one up this weekend, so you can look forward to that. All right. Thank you for listening. I've got to go be a dad.